So we're here with Conor McMahon, writer-director of Bus To Dublin. Great response from the audience there. Tell me about the kind of origins of it. You said, was there a workshop quality to it?
Yeah, basically this, it was strange how this film came about. I was asked to, the Lear is like it's a college trains actors, mostly for theatre, but in their third year they do a 3-week film block. So I was basically brought in to make a film with them. And part of it is you get 8 actors. So it's like, it's quite hard to kind of come up with a short film, you know, to put that. Normally, if you're writing a short film especially, you know, you usually have 1 or 2 main roles. Yeah. So that was the first challenge. And what was interesting about it is the way the film, like they say, just devise the film, which is normally, you know, it's like you write the film or whatever. So basically, there was kind of this collaboration between like getting the actors, coming up with ideas with the actors. I mean, I went in, my one thing was I want to make a horror film with these guys. So that was, I like
what you brought to it.
yeah, that's what I brought to the table. It's like, guys, we can do whatever we want, but we're doing a horror movie. And luckily they were all on board, like they kind of enjoyed that idea.
I would say that the horror genre allows you to have people to kill off. Like it does have that.
Exactly. Yeah. So that was fun. So yeah, it was really, I mean, it was amazing how quickly we got the film on its feet. You know what I mean? From once we had the idea of a bus, it was like the actors could very quickly. It was a really fun way to write. Like if I was to write that on my own, I'd be like, oh, you know. Whereas they were bringing all their own ideas, and you know, and they'd kind of do little improvs, and so it was a really kind of collaborative way, which you know, to work like that. And then I'd go home in the evening, and I'd record them during the day. Then I'd write the script based on, you know, the scenes, and then we'd refine it down and improv it. So yeah, it came together in the usual way.
So did the actors, like, did they devise their characters? Or?
Yeah, like some of them it took a while to just figure out exactly the scene, but it was like, I mean, some of the characters, they just did an improv, and it was like, that's it. Like,
yeah, it does have that feeling sometimes. So even there's an interaction with, like, when someone asks top 3 and stuff, and all that stuff felt very sort of like natural and kind of between that couple.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, they came from improvs, but on the day we were working off a script, if you know what I mean. But we'd kind of, and sometimes it was it's kind of weird when you improv something, because it's sometimes when you go to do it, it's hard to find the naturalness that you got
or the energy,
the first time, and that was kind of the challenge, if anything else. But I suppose because we were rehearsing it in a room, I think the very fact of going on a location and you're on a bus and so the environment is different on the day, so you're going to get something new.
Yeah. And you obviously, there's kind of it does have a kind of a classic zombie feel, like as in it follows the conventions of that genre.
Yeah.
Was that something that you were very much like, you wanted to make something kind of classic?
Well, this was very much, I don't know if you've seen Train to Busan.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
So this is Train to Busan, but it's Bus to Dublin. So it's very much a parody of Train to Busan. And so it was a mix of that, and then it's just, and you know, also we kind of wanted to bring in the Irish element with the hurling, and that was the main thing, because his character originally was you know, when we did the first improvs, he was like a businessman, and he was on and it just wasn't working. And because what I didn't have, that was one of the things we had to crack in the script. We had all these individual characters, but there was no kind of little arc, if
like
you know what I mean. Yeah. So once we kind of got the idea of the hurling guy who'd lost the match and he'd a chance to redeem himself, it kind of gave, even though it's small, it just gave you a little something.
Yeah. I feel like as well, that character, he's the first person we see. Like, I mean, I know it's an ensemble, but he kind of starts the film.
You need one person to kind of hang the storyline off, you know.
I'm just on a kind of talking about more practical stuff. I mean, effects wise, even production design. Like, you made like a comic for it, like a kind of that Martha's character has, and just those elements to it, and the special effects. How was it kind of creating those?
It was interesting because, I mean, we shot this whole film in a day. And we shot like 85 slates in a day, so it was a kind of a very quick turnaround.
That's the best schedule I've ever heard for a bus.
Yeah, because it's like, I mean, I had so it's very short, so I had to plan it quite well in terms of all those shots. So it meant doing a lot of the effects. There's a lot of post effects.
Yes. Yeah.
But at the same time, we just, like, for example, I just had like say the head gets chopped off. I mean, I literally had a sort of a fake head that's not of any of the actors, but it's just, it would give me a kind of a neckline or whatever. I mean, it was literally by the end, they were just like, put the fake head in, film, take it out, put the actors in, grand, and then so you'd shoot that in about 10 minutes and then just hand it to the next guy and go like, okay, can you make something,
It's funny though, because there was like a stressful aspect to it. It doesn't really come across on the screen. It feels very breezy and natural. And it
kind of was, actually. I mean, it was, I'm talking about the last half hour of the day, which is the last half hour of any film day. It's like, just go. But in terms of the production and all that, like, as well as, so I got 8 of the Lear actors, but also they have a technical crew as well. So I got like you say, production designer, people in the lighting department, and so the idea as well is I bring a few people myself, say, who are working more professionally, like the DOP and focus puller and the makeup person. So I might bring a few professional people, and then also they have their own technical crew. So so those people did kind of the comic book I did myself. Oh, yeah. I just did it the night before. I just put it together. Sometimes you just got to do it yourself.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. So there was a good kind of crew behind it, and they were very enthusiastic, because for a lot of them, like, they basically had never done a film before. Had never been on a film set. And because they'd just been doing theatre for 3 years, and the technical crew had just been working on plays, so the idea for them was to give them a film experience. So I was like really impressed, because for most of them, they just didn't know, even just very basic crew stuff, like when you're working on set, they didn't really know what was going on for a while.
What's interesting about that though is that usually you can kind of tell if a theatre person coming in a film where it's like it's pitched a bit higher, but like this film is obviously tonally pitched, but I think the performances are quite grounded, like they feel screen ready, like
totally, like that really impressed me. But I think it's like what I really benefit from is because I've done films before with kind of where you get a bunch of friends or an ensemble or whatever, and when you've cast people individually, it's very hard to get them to bounce off each other,
to know the chemistry.
Exactly. So what really helped was all these guys knew each other for 3 years, and they were all really comfortable with each other, and so they probably naturally as well, when I've paired people off with each other, they're probably, even in the improv, they kind of knew who they could bounce off, and kind of, so that's why we could probably get at very quickly or whatever. And
also, despite it being like cinematic enough, it is like a plane that it's set in one location. And it's dialogue driven mostly.
Exactly, yeah. And so I suppose that was part of what I could do as well, is to push them in that, sort of, I guess, I'd be more familiar with the film scene. But at the same time, they were just, I was very impressed with, because you just never know what you're going to get. You just go, here is the act. Like, you never make a film like that either. It's like, here are your actors,
That's right.
So I was quite lucky, I think, to get that group.
I think it worked out. There's kind of an alchemy there. If you pardon the pun, how will this film travel? Have you been sending it out?
I think this is the first. This is its first screening.
Great. Spook Screen exclusive.
Yeah. Other than, it played in the Lear just as their end of year, so it was just finished at the end of the summer, like in July or whatever.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
I think it could do very well. I think it totally understands its genre, and I just think it has like great fun with it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, I'm trying to get them, because it's sort of like the college. They do films every year, but I think what often happens is, and I did one with them before, is, because of the nature of making a film with so many actors, they tend to make either very long films or films, that for showreel pieces or whatever. So that was the two things in the back of my head when they asked me to do it this year. Is one, I want to do a horror, and two is to try and make a film in a way that also works as a short film, and not just like, as a showreel piece or whatever.
Yeah. As like a punctuation of a course or something.
Exactly. Yeah. So, I'm really curious to put it out there. I don't know whose responsibility that is. That's the thing. It's like, is that the college, or I don't know if I did a couple. Just like, I sent it down here. I just kind of took it upon myself because I kind of wanted it to just like you say. It's nice to know. You never know when you make a film how it's going to be received, or how it's how it'll play, or like you say, I don't know how would play outside Ireland or whatever, you know. They won't get the Ryan Tuberty joke, you know.
It might send more people to looking up Ryan Tuberty for apps.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks a million for your time.
Cool.
Great talking to you.
Thanks a million. Cheers, thanks.